Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of I Am I. My name is Joshua Ansley, and today I want to talk about taking inventory. So this is an incredibly important part of the spiritual process. It is also one of the most difficult things you'll probably ever do in your life. So in order to take inventory, we have to start with awareness, right? It's where we heighten our awareness. So awareness can start simply with things like being aware of the breath, right? And the breath is an incredibly important tool in this as well. So there's a couple programs in any sort of spiritual journey, really, you're gonna have to take some more sort of inventory because you have to know where you're starting from, right? If you have a store and you don't have your inventory, then you don't know how you're going to move forward from there, right? So in a lot of programs, 12-step programs or any other stuff, there's an inventory. But I want to talk specifically about the way the Toltec tradition takes inventory, because I think it's a little sexier, right? And it definitely deals with the breath, right? So the awareness comes from just being aware of your breath is such an important practice. Real simple. That's all we have to do is take our awareness to the breath, and that starts to heighten our awareness over time, right? So when you take the inventory process in the Toltec tradition, it starts with the way of the eagle, right? So the way of the eagle is when you breathe in and just let anything come up, you take the view, that eagle-eye view, as you look back over your past, right? And you just scan everything and let anything that comes up. And when you swoop down into it, when it does come up, you swoop down without the judge and without the victim. So you breathe in the unconditional love, because the breath literally is unconditional love. It is there for you no matter what, all day, every day. Whether you're an asshole or you're an amazing person, that breath is there unconditionally. So you breathe that unconditional love without the judge or the victim, and you breathe into that memory and that space as it comes up, right, from the way of the eagle. So it's a really powerful way to just allow yourself to scope back over the inventory, right? Now, if you're really, it's going to be a lot stronger if you're doing like a 12-step program to be writing everything out. So with the way of the inventory, like the way of the eagle, you can be like journaling or whatever, but it's also really powerful to write things out in some way, like absolutely, right? But energetically speaking, on a shamanic perspective, on a shamanic journey, this is how the way of the eagle is going to be. Then in the moment, there's something called stalking. So that is hunting, right? The way of the eagle is hunting back through anything that needs to be healed in our past. And then the way of the jaguar is when we stalk in the present moment. So we stalk any thoughts, any feelings that come up. See, they have this idea of this thing called a parasite. And really, it's not you, but there's these other beings that feed off of our lower negative emotions, the lower vibrational frequencies, right? Because those lower emotions are those lower vibrational frequencies. And these parasites are literally beings that exist on another plane that feed off of our lower vibrational frequencies. So they actually cling onto us and manipulate us into dramas. So when you're making choices, you think that you are making choices and you're empowered, but you're not. You're actually being manipulated by these lower beings that are feeding off that energy, right? So the idea is to stalk every thought, every action, every emotion in the moment with the way of the jaguar, and to make sure that we intercept anything as that comes up. So that is a really powerful way. And then like other programs too, that would be like the daily inventory that we take. You know, you look back over your day too, is like making sure. But this is in the moment with everything, to live mindfully, to really see why we are saying the things that we are saying. And what happens is if we do more hunting, as we hunt in the past with the way of the eagle, we will clear out any things that need to be cleared out and healed, and that we don't go into it with a judgment, right? So when we go into an inventory, it's very easy to go into it and get as an opportunity to shame ourselves and to beat ourselves up. And that's exactly the kinds of things that we need to find in the inventory, is like that. If we do that to ourselves, if we're carrying around shame and guilt and these character defects that are developed from that, that's what we need to find out. So we need to be wary of those things. So usually before that, there's a sense of, that's why in like the 12-step programs, there's a sense of giving over to some higher power, giving over to something and surrendering, to recognize that we are not in control here, that we surrender this ego, because literally in the Toltec tradition, the ego and these thoughts that would be from this false self are really not even us. They are this thing built up by the parasites in order to have us, to feed off of us. So the idea is to not be a fucking storehouse and a feeding ground for these lower beings that are trying to feed off of us, to stalk in the moment and to really make sure that we're not allowing that shame or that guilt or that doubt or that fear or that anger or that frustration or whatever to rule us. And that happens much more easily in the moment to stalk in the way of the Jaguar if we've gone into the past and hunted as the way of the eagle. So, while it is one of the most difficult things, because basically your entire understanding of reality will crumble when you do this, and if you do it right and you do it well, and slowly, this is a slow process over time, but if you do this, it will be one of the most difficult, life-altering things that you can do, right? So, that's it. In Lakesh Lakin, I am you, you are me. Namaste. What? Too much?